Hi, I'm William Gilmore for HikeLosAngeles.com, and right now I'm deep in the heart of the Angeles National Forest, right here in the San Gabriel Mountains. And today we're going to trek to the summit of not one, but two different mountain peaks, Mount Disappointment and San Gabriel Peak. And along the way, we're going to see some fantastic views of the San Gabriel Mountains, pass through the heart of the mountain itself, and explore an old Nike missile defense base. So take a hike with me to Los Angeles to the summit of San Gabriel Peak. The journey to Mount Low begins on the Mount Low Road, a level but occasionally rocky fire road that meanders leisurely along the upper reaches of Eden Canyon, with its vertigo-inducing views on one side and the soaring granite cliffs of San Gabriel Peak on the other. At a quarter mile, we reach the Mueller Tunnel, a short passageway blasted through the cliff face connecting Eden Saddle with Markham Saddle. The Mueller Tunnel is only about 66 yards long, but still, walking through the darkness knowing that there are thousands of tons of rock pressing down upon you from above is kind of eerie. Now, the walls have been reinforced with a concrete stucco, but that really only adds to the otherworldly atmosphere of the tunnel. It's almost like walking through the esophagus of some giant alien reptile. Now, if you think you're safe once you've emerged from the tunnel, think again. This entrance was nearly sealed off in a 2007 landslide, and the 2009 station fire added further instability to the tunnel and the trail. Now, repairs have been made and it's been deemed safe and reopened to the public, but still, the sound of sand and stones dropping down from the cliffs above will have you looking up more than once. From the Mueller Tunnel, the trail continues a short distance through a shady grove of oak and pine trees to the small plateau of Markham Saddle, with its broad sweeping view of Bear Canyon. In 2009, this entire area was severely burned in the station fire, and the devastation wrought by that inferno is clearly evident, with the large swaths of dead manzanita limbs protruding above the new plant growth. Once you've reached the plateau, you basically have three different options depending on your destination. You can continue straight on the fire road, and that'll take you down to the Mount Low campground site of the former Alpine Tavern, or veer slightly to the left onto a single-track trail and continue uphill to Mount Low. But for the purposes of our hike, we're going to hook a right at the water tank, and that'll take you up a single-track trail to Mount Disappointment and San Gabriel Peak. From Markham Saddle, the San Gabriel Peak Trail winds along a series of switchbacks up the cliff face on a narrow, twisting single-track trail through dense chaparral, slowly masking the devastation of the 2009 station fire. The trail is at times rocky and loose, with bits of scree cascading down the side of the canyon. You're definitely going to want to keep an eye on your footing, as well as a lookout for some other surprises along the trail. Now, this little plant clinging to the rocks here is called a poodle dog bush. And although this is a rather small specimen, it can grow quite large, with a circumference of up to around 12 feet and a height of 6 to 8 feet. It's an invasive species and not native to California, but it thrives in burn areas, and as a result, it is scattered all up and down the trail leading to the summit. And what makes it interesting are the leaves contain an oil that is a skin irritant and can cause severe blistering, similar to that of, say, poison ivy or poison oak, but far worse. So this plant is to be avoided on the trail at all costs. But like I said, it's everywhere out here. As you continue uphill toward the second trail junction, you quickly become aware of the solitude. From the trailhead, you probably began your hike with a number of other hikers. But once you reached Markham Saddle, those backcountry adventurers most likely turned off on the easier Mount Low trail, leaving you to enjoy the upcoming vistas all to yourself. The hike up to the first trail junction is actually pretty easy. It's a nice level grade. But once you make that turn on the San Gabriel Peak Trail, it becomes pretty steep, rocky, and very narrow all the way up here to the second trail junction. Now, once you're at this trail junction, you have two options. You can go to your right up to San Gabriel Peak, or to your left and go up to Mount Disappointment. We're going to try and do both trails. So we're going to turn left at the trail junction and make our way up to Mount Disappointment and the old Nike base, and then backtrack to the trail junction and take the other trail up to San Gabriel Peak, and hopefully we'll make it in time for sunset. From the second trail junction, continue uphill, heading northerly for just over 50 yards to Trail Junction 3, and the ruins of the Nike missile base.
There's really not much left here to indicate that this was once a nuclear missile site designed to protect Los Angeles in the event of a Soviet attack. Just some concrete slabs where the barracks and the mess hall were located. Now, the nuclear missiles themselves and the launch pads were located on the summit of Mount Disappointment, where the telecommunications equipment is located today.
From the Nike missile base, continue uphill on the paved road toward the telecommunications installation and the summit of Mount Disappointment.
Mount Disappointment received its name when a U.S. Geological Survey team sighted the mountain from the Santa Susana Mountains and determined it was the highest point in the region. Unfortunately, when they got here, they determined that San Gabriel Peak was the highest peak in the region, 167 feet taller, hence the name for Mount Disappointment. To add further indignation to the mountain, the summit was leveled to make room for the Nike missile base, making it even shorter. Now, if you'd like to know more information about the Nike missile bases that protected Los Angeles during the height of the Cold War, check out our blog for the Oak Mountain Nike Missile Base, where the launch pads and several outbuildings are still intact. With the sun getting low in the sky, let's make our way back across the saddle of San Gabriel Peak. It's only about a half-mile hike. We should get there just in time for sunset.
Once you return to the second trail junction, continue straight and pass through the junction and back onto the San Gabriel Peak Trail. This section of trail is the steepest portion of the hike and winds on a single track around the northern face of the mountain, around to the south, before switching back to the north and the summit of San Gabriel Peak.
Wow, that hike up from the saddle to the summit of San Gabriel Peak is one heck of a climb. That's definitely the hardest part of the entire hike. It was pretty strenuous, and we got here just in time to catch the sunset. And what a gorgeous sunset it is too, with the sun just sinking behind the mountains in the distance. We're not going to get to spend a whole lot of time up here on the summit because we got to get back down to the parking area before it gets too dark. But the views from up here are spectacular. It's 360 degrees panoramic in all directions. It's a very small summit, so you really are completely out in the open. It's really quite amazing. And the view should be really spectacular here in a second as the twinkling lights of all the surrounding communities flick on at twilight, especially in the Los Angeles basin with those gleaming high-rise towers coming to life in downtown LA. And so I'll leave you with a few of those early evening images, and I look forward to seeing you next time on our next hike right here on HikeLosAngeles.com.